If you've been keeping up with the Olympics in Rio, you may have noticed many athletes, including Michael Phelps, have red round markings all over their bodies. When asked about them, the athletes responded that they were due to an ancient healing practice called cupping, which supposedly rids the body of toxins, recirculates stagnant blood, and eases sore muscles. This seems odd, because if it was so beneficial, why is it not often used and recommended by medical professionals? The reason is simple. These claims about the benefits of cupping have all been based upon dubious studies, which did not follow the scientific method. As such, the results have been rejected by the scientific and medical communities who dub the practices as pseudo-scientific. Within a philosophical context, we have to ask, what does it mean for something to be pseudo-scientific? How can we differentiate between what is science and what is not science? The answer to these questions is far from simple and has troubled philosophers for a long time, resulting in what has come to be known as the demarcation problem. So, what is this problem? Basically, it is the philosopher's attempt at distinguishing between science and pseudoscience. So, what's pseudoscience exactly? We can say that it is any form of knowledge that has a weak foundation and few flimsy evidence to support it, such as some kinds of alternative medicine and astrology, which sadly many people assume to be true. There have been many attempts since the times of ancient philosophers such as Aristotle to reach suitable criteria for demarcation. Unfortunately, these efforts were not successful, and the problem remained till modern times, where new philosophers took it upon themselves to figure it out. There are 5 famous modern schools of demarcation, and they are verification, falsification, puzzle solving, scientific progress, and cultural view. We are only going to discuss one of those here, which is falsification. But if you are interested to know more about the rest, check the link below. In order to tackle falsification, we'll have to explore the thoughts of philosopher Karl Popper, who came up with the concept. To him, a scientific theory is not one that could be proved. Rather, it is one that can be disproved. This means that a theory which has a mountain of evidence to support it cannot be said to be scientific if there doesn't exist a scenario in which it could be wrong. On the other hand, a scientific theory is one that can be falsified and whose predictions are testable, and there are instances that we can examine during which the theory could be proven right or wrong. Thus, it is only after thorough testing of a theory's predictions and making serious attempts to refute it completely can we say that a theory is scientific. As an example of this method, we have the fact that once upon a time it was believed that protein carried genetic information. Then came the theory that DNA is the genetic material, which was controversial at the time, causing it to be tested ruthlessly by those who wanted to refute it. Finally, it was proven beyond a shade of doubt that DNA is the carrier of genetic information. And this is now common scientific knowledge which could not have become so widely accepted had it not first been so meticulously tested. However, problems have been pointed out with this falsification, such as the fact that astrology, which is clearly a pseudoscience, can be falsified. So, if we apply this criterion only, we'd have to concede that astrology is a science, something that is wrong on so many different levels. So, it's clear that falsification is not a sufficient criterion for demarcation, just like many other proposed criteria which remain incomplete and cannot stand alone. So, what's the point of all this, you might ask? Well, the point is that we must not accept anything we hear passively without thinking about it first. And just because something is labeled science doesn't mean we should take it at face value without taking a closer look and asserting for ourselves that it is logical and reliable. And in the end, we'd like to remember what Socrates once said, that an unexamined life is not worth living. So, let's examine and think and wonder and criticize and doubt and search so that perhaps we may one day reach the truth. If you like the video, please don't forget to press like and share.